Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer, coming from three different channels: P Guru's, Ganashot, and Claus. We have today with us three good generals: General Ravi Shankar, General Dushyant Singh, and General Rajiv Narayanan. Let's welcome all the three distinguished generals. Generals, Namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel. How are you?
Namaskar and Jai Hind. We are fine.
Namaskar.
Jai Hind, Bharat Mata ki Jai, and
all fine.
General Ravi Shankar. I'll start with.
Pleasure to be on all the shows.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Viewers, wherever you are, please like this video. Let this thing go viral. We're going to be having a couple of presentations from the distinguished generals, and there's going to be a lot of information that's going to be disseminated. We might also take a detour on what's happening in other things like Russia-Ukraine front, as well as in China. That might just come as part of this discussion. The main thing is, what are the options for India? Is India ready for a new global power shift that appears to be happening? General Ravi Shankar, I'll let you go first, sir. You have a couple of pictures to share with us and a narrative. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I'll start with USA. The point is, USA has shown its true colors. I will not say USA has shown its true colors. Trump plus USA has, shown a few colors. We need to understand the dynamic there, and from there everything will flow out. Ever since Trump has, assumed presidency, he's like a guy who's running after minerals, whether it was in Greenland, whether it's on Ukraine, or in Congo. Even in Congo, there's an issue. And now he's headed on to, Pakistan. You'll say, why Pakistan? I'll come to that. But Trump is after, for some reason, whatever reason, whether it's his family money, whether it's investment, Bitcoin, VA coin, Wo coin, he's got a fixation for minerals. He's also talking to Australia for minerals. And all this stems from two facts. One is there's money in it. And second, he wants to secure mineral or resource security for USA, which he feels he's lost out to China. Right. The second part of the story is that he's very clear. I mean, on that we should not have a doubt that USA and the entire establishment of USA, I'm sure Narayan will explain something else, something completely different from what we're talking later in the day. And we need to consider it, right? They are completely focused on China. Now we saw in Operation Sindoor that USA taking a contraposition with India, right? And suddenly, out of the blue, there's a new jump, or there's a new spring in Pakistan's step, that they're back in the good books of USA. They've launched their Bitcoin reserve, and that launch was in front of the Vice President of USA, Vance, in Vegas, and things like that. And and USA has offered them mediation at a neutral place, which came out from Rubio, though we've said to take a walk. But there's a new step in, spring in Pakistan's step. On the flip side, you saw Hexeth telling, talking in the Shangri-La dialogue in Singapore and saying, look, India is a good partner of ours. We're going to do the Quad. We're going to do the Indo-Pacific security. And we are going into a next level. And there's also similar thing coming from some other members of the Trump cabinet. So there is a black and white element about the Trump cabinet. So I gave it a thought. Why is this happening? I mean, right. And then it came to me that, there's some gold and find in recoding. And that's been, there's a report on this by Barrick. So I'd like that to first come up. In fact, I'll put it this way. Last month, there was a meeting in which Barrick came and gave a presentation, and it was presided over by friend the Field Marshal. He was just a general then, and Shahbaz Sharif. So if I could first get that picture up, if you don't mind, and then we'll get the picture. Yeah, look at this. This is the Pakistan Mineral Investment Forum, which was held just about a month and a half back. And it was presided over by our good friend, the Field Marshal. And in this forum, Barrick gave a presentation. And I like that presentation because that's the key. Yeah. Can we have
be
the
the beacon
clip, please? Yeah.
that leads Pakistan into the ranks of the top global mining jurisdictions. At the end of 2024, the feasibility study was completed, producing total contained, proven, and probable mineral reserves of 15 million tons of copper and 26 million ounces of gold. There's every reason to believe that Reko Diq will still be operating past the end of this century. First production is planned for 2028 and targets 240,000 tons per annum copper and 300,000 ounces per annum of gold during phase 1. Barrick has a proven track record of partnering with and fostering local
You see
suppliers
Shahbaz Sharif
worldwide.
there, and you see
And we are
the field
applying
marshal
these
there,
same
and everyone.
principles
He was of
and
course, he was just
experiences
a general at that
Reko Diq.
time.
Over the last 2 years, we have awarded contracts valued at millions of dollars to suppliers from the Chagai district. Reko Diq will be a major contributor to Pakistan's economy and will have a transformative impact on the underdeveloped Balochistan province, where in addition to the economic benefits it will generate, the mine will also create thousands of high-paying jobs.
Yeah. So you see that, that's the potential, and that's a proven potential. Whether we like it or not, it's there. And the Chinese are also, at this point of time, it is Barrick Gold, which is a Canadian company, which is in the fray, which has done everything. And but Chinese are also in the fray. They want a hold on that. And Mr. Trump has zeroed on to this. So, one. Number two, you saw that the World Bank is going to give Pakistan $40 billion from 26 to 35. And this just matches what China has invested in the form of CPEC. That's 60 billion. Actually, what's been spent is about 22, 23 billion, and I don't think anything more will come. And you see the IMF also very generous in bailing Pakistan out. So there's an issue here. So what you're going to see is America gunning for the critical minerals, or I won't say critical, they're minerals, resources. And Pakistan is going to become a battleground. That's on the cards. So if that is on the cards, there's a new global power shift, right? If you think China is dumped out by Pakistan, no. Still, 80% of Pakistan's arms inventory is from China. And the reports are they're completely hand in glove with the J-35. And they come to a stage where the Pakistani pilots are already training in China, and they're not going to give up on each other. And if you look beyond the propaganda which has come out and all that, you see that both China and Pakistan are a bit taken aback by what happened to them in Operation Sindoor. And they want to give it back to India. So if you see this, China is not going to give up on Pakistan. America is now gunning back to get back into Pakistan in a big way. And there's going to be a battleground, and there's going to be one thing. And on other hand, Pakistan, which seeks revenge always against India, is going to come back at us through China. And we are going to rise. We're going to continue to rise. And we will have our own problems in this regard. And of course, things like Bangladesh and all this will come up. Right. And it is in this context, you also have to understand where Russia is. Russia is being pressured into getting into a peace deal, which is not for it the way it wants it to go. So there is that struggle going on, and as you go along, you'll see Russia getting weakened. Right. On the other hand, you see Europe. Europe and EU might not be that well off economically, but there's a realization in EU that America has dumped them. And if that be so, they need to revive their own economy. Not only revive their economy, they are mortally scared of Russia. And if they are mortally scared of Russia, they want to remilitarize. And they can't remilitarize on their own because they don't have the manpower to do that. They have to come to India. So this is the shift which is happening. And of course, East Asia is in trouble. In fact, China is in trouble. China has got its internal problems. China's economy is tanking big time, big time. Xi Jinping can be kicked out any time. And China is now ring fenced by countries which are, I wouldn't say hostile to it, but they're completely adversarial to it. Countries which were once subservient to China are now showing two fingers to China, especially when you look at even North Korea, South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, and Philippines. So there's a new paradigm in West Pacific, which is inimical to China, right? Now, if it is in this context, you'll have to see where we are going. And I think there's a very clear reason for us to relook at this new world order or the new world disorder which is happening. And we have to see how to navigate our way through. Right? This is what I'll say at this point of time. I think let's hear others and then we'll take up the issues thereafter.
Thank you so much, General Ravi Shankar, for setting the stage here. General Dushyant Singh, I read recently, and I don't know if this is just a tweet on X, so I can't say for sure if it's reliable or not, that Israel is looking to sign a 15,000 crore deal with India to handle, I think this is something to do with the L-70 and Akash missiles that India used effectively to shoot down the Turkiya drones. This is what I'm hearing. I'm just setting the context here. So this is the showcasing, right? The proof of the pudding is in its eating, and India's pudding tastes quite good at this point of time. Over to you, sir. Your thoughts.
Thank you, IRG, for having called me on your show. First of all, I'll take on from what General Ravi Shankar spoke about. In my opinion, this entire geopolitics is turning out to be an accidental convergence of national interest, where transactional mode of behavior in international relations is gaining prominence. What I mean is that everybody is looking at a transactional a transactional approach to having a relationship with a country. So we should not get unduly perturbed by what the US is doing with Pakistan or what the China is doing with Pakistan or Bangladesh or the US is trying to do with Bangladesh. This is going to happen. It is bound to happen. The fact about minerals, I would expand it to say that Trump is only looking at trade, trade, and trade. So wherever he's getting this kind of, and in the trade, I would also like to qualify that it is with a side effect of family benefit as well. So wherever he's finding this kind of an approach, this kind of a opportunity, he is blindly going into that, irrespective of high moral standard as far as in any case. The US has never believed in that kind of an approach. It has always believed in its own sovereign interest, and so has India done. In fact, in one of our interactions with a US Rand Corporation senior fellow, when I questioned him on this particular issue, he says, well, we are doing what you did during the Russia-Ukraine war. So simply put, if Rand and these like think tanks which actually influence the US government's approach, and not necessarily the president, there is a whole lot of deep state which is there in the US which actually drives policy irrespective of who is the president. President only brings in his personal flavor as what he is doing now currently as far as trade is concerned. But my overall opinion is that it might not be a long living kind of a trend. If after 4 or 3 years, 3.5 years, whatever time is left of Trump, we might see some corrections in this kind of approach which the US is following. So I first point is accidental convergence of interest both of China and US is taking place, and somehow we are caught in the middle of that. So what has happened? We have been hyphenated with Pakistan, which we had so effectively actually dehyphenated for the last 10 to 11 years. We were actually not considering Pakistan as any kind of concern as far as we were concerned. The other thing which has happened is we are slightly getting hemmed in, but there are ways and means to get out of this hemming in. The next issue which we need to consider is Op Sindoor. Now, Op Sindoor was a I would say it's a wake up call for us also, but I would say it is more of a wake up call for the Chinese and the Americans, because weapon systems of both were, although not the American system, the NTP, QS, etc., were there, but other than that, it was essentially the Chinese weapon systems which got exposed to the wrath of the Indian systems. But we must realize that our capacity to handle such a conflict in the future will be limited only from the point of view of quantity. We have to escalate our production, and here I would like to link your Israel point of view. You may be right, I cannot share everything, but you may be right that we are looking for alternate sources, because I said everything is transactional. Whosoever is going to give us, we will take it on our conditions, be cautious of it. If we are getting it from the US, so might as well take it. There is no harm. You see, if we take it from the US, doesn't matter. It should be on our terms. And if they are ready to give us, fine. We will, because in the short term, we have to cater for any escalation which might happen. And let me tell you, there are inputs that the Pakistanis are, in some kind of a closed door interaction with China to enhance their capability to respond more effectively with India. So my third point is that the overall national policy has to take a dramatic shift. Till now, we were focusing possibly, and rightly so, more on the economic front. I feel that henceforth and from this budget onwards, we have to spend 3%, and I put a bracket, caveat of more and not less. 3% is minimum, and more is always welcome. Unless we do that, we will not be able to actually meet the future threats the way we want to meet them. If we have to continue with this kind of show which we have done in Op Sindoor, and Op Sindoor was a very, very limited conflict, very limited conflict. You can count the number of missiles fired by either side. You can count the number of drones fired by either side. Imagine if we start having this entire thing in a full blown 10, 12, 15, 20 days of conflict, you will find that we will have to really gear up our internal systems as well to have that kind of surge capabilities, and that requires money, and that requires budgetary support. That has to be a very important factor as far as going forward of Sindoor is concerned. The next issue which I wanted to highlight was about the Balochistan factor, coming in way, and why Trump is getting into it. I don't know whether I did the show with you or with Gunner Shot about a year and a half back, and I had said that gold was found in Balochistan way back then, and Chinese were actually going into it, and you would have I think heard about the US ambassador paying a visit in Balochistan about last year, and trying to explore all these things which were happening there. So it's not I mean,
Not new.
something which has happened. Yeah, it's not new. It was under the scanner of the US for quite some time. They have just taken those concrete steps forward now, and that too, these are the initial steps. Like Jan Shankar said, Barrick is a Canadian company, so it is the US which wants to get into this game of minerals, etc. So be it. So be it. Everybody is welcome. And I would tell you that if people are coming to Balochistan with their boots, they better be prepared for some very, very serious things there, because Chinese have been facing it. If the US wants to face it, they are more than welcome to do so. But what should be worrying us is the deal which the China, Afghanistan, and Pakistan are trying to forge. Now that may prove to be a kind of a challenge to us. Should Afghan Taliban rein in the KPK, TTP? Why? Because I believe one of the emirs yesterday, General KJ was saying that the emirs have been given the right to say that whether you will undertake any operations in Pakistan or not. Now, emir in this case could be anyone. everybody considers in Afghanistan as the emir, and Haqqani network is fairly close to, even now, close to Pakistanis. Akhundzada, I believe, is not that effective now, with most of the power now going into the hands of Haqqani, because he's the interior minister as well. So that is one angle which we have to be careful of. We have to invest in Afghanistan very, very smartly, so that our, the other approach of keeping Pakistan engaged on the western border remains, and these designs which are taking place in Balochistan, etc., are also kept to a limited level of influence as far as India's interests are concerned. India's interest is that Pakistan must remain embroiled on the western front. Then only we can focus on the northern front, which is our primary adversary, and we have been telling this thing. So last point is about the EU and the IMF bailouts. I think the IMF and the World Bank bailouts are all related to this minerals and this so-called newfound interest in Balochistan. So we should try our all the tentacles must go out to ensure that this bailout is made very, very difficult. I mean, we got a Indian origin president of World Bank. We should put so many conditions that it becomes virtually difficult for Pakistan to avail these facilities, and for that I think we need a little bit of maneuvering at the international forum. IWT, I'm not really concerned. Victor Goy tried to make all kinds of statements a few days back, saying don't do what you don't want others to do on you, and things of that nature. I think General Shankar gave a very beautiful presentation where he said the amount of influence which China can really do on us as far as water is concerned. He was every time referring to Indus and Brahmaputra, but least realizing that the Himalayas are controlled by us. I think China must be very clear of that. The Himalayas are controlled by us, right from its start till the end, when it tapers down in Myanmar. So where are the streams coming from other than these two big streams? Lohit, you can include it in that. But otherwise, rest all the streams which are coming into India are all coming from the Himalayas. And who controls the Himalayas? Who controls the watershed? It's India. Tell me a single place where the Chinese are there on the watershed. None. Even the Tista River is inside our territory, well inside our territory from where it starts. So, engaging them in Tista project, etc., all that is nonsense. We should not really get concerned with the IWT. With that, I will stop and wait out for the next round for additional questions and discussions.
Yes, and thank you so much, General Dushyant Singh. And the opposer for both of you, good generals. A startup company in United States is trying to raise funds, saying that China plans to manufacture 1 million drones in the next 1 year. And they are saying that nobody can do it except us. And that is their USP and so on and so forth. I want you to take a look at that. If 1 million drones are directed at Punjab, because they're not going to put them on Gujarat or Rajasthan. Just think about it, generals. We'll come back to you in a second. Let's listen to General Rajiv Narayanan. He has a presentation to share with us, a very fascinating one. Over to you, General Rajiv.
Okay, I'll start from the last part, from where Gen Dushyant had said. Of course, I entirely agree with that. Having been there, everybody incorrectly refers to Brahmaputra rising from Tibet. I'm sorry. If you look at your map, Brahmaputra, the name on the map, in any international map, comes just east of Dibrugarh, where the Yarlung Sangpo, which comes, in India it's called Siang. Then to the east, there is a river which is entirely within India, which is Debunked, and further east is the Lohit. These three, where they meet, that is where Brahmaputra starts. So let us first disabuse the name that Brahmaputra flows from China. It doesn't. Yarlung Sangpo contributes maximum 11 to 15%. 15 is when there is very heavy rains. Full stop. Rest, everything comes from India. As far as Lohit is concerned, the Himalayas finish in the northeast. In Tibet, there is a big feature called Namcha Barwa. That's where the Himalayas finish. East of Namcha Barwa is an area called Kangri Karpo. There is a pass also on the Himalayas called Kangri Karpola. Kangri Karpo, there are 68 glaciers. Lohit is formed by two rivers which are these glacier fed, and it comes through a perennial pass called Dichu and comes into India. In India, it's called Lohit. On the other side is Rongtochu and Lochochu. I'm sorry, you can't tame glaciers. So there is nothing that China can do about that. So as far as the Brahmaputra is concerned, in Hindi we say Mungeri Lal ke Haseen Sapne, he can do. There is a huge reservoir being built. He's trying through his minions in Arunachal to try to block it. Once that reservoir comes in place and that dam, that is the end of it. At best, he could have flooded those areas. That would also stop. So that is why he's getting desperate that I can do something. Then as far as Balochistan and the minerals are concerned, while they may say that these things are new, this has been going on for a number of years. Balochistan is a very restive place. As it is, Canadians are talking to the Pakistanis. US wants to jump in after he has said that I want Canada as my 51st state. So do you think the Canadian government will be happy if this man starts talking to the Americans for them? They have a problem there. And no wonder just the other day I was told that Trump is retreating from wanting to take over Canada. So that is why in America is called TACO. That turnaround, who turns around always. TACO. I hated that. And he's been shown as a chicken. In the US, these are the memes that are coming out about it. And he doesn't like it one bit from... because of that name Taco, he doesn't like it, that is turnaround. It started catching speed when he started saying no for taking over Canada. Why do you think China is talking to the Baloch? They're not talking to Pakistanis for that mineral. They're talking to the Baloch. And like Gen Shankar had mentioned, whoever comes there, good luck to him. The Americans don't like to fight their battles. They would like somebody else to fight their battles. And in any case, Pakistan is taking a thrashing. That Sorab town, which connects both Quetta and Karachi, has been taken over by the BLA.
Yeah.
So where is Pakistan army today? Who's going to control it? It's very nice to say, make a statement. There are so many million tons. Nikal ke to dikhao bhai. The
China
World Bank will give money. Who is going to put the foot on ground out there? And that is
China
where
2 साल से निकाल रहा है. China 2 साल से निकाल रहा है.
That's China तो कब से फंसा हुआ है? From the time he made his CPEC. And in that, let me put at rest where China wants to enter Afghanistan from. Pakistan will make its narrative that he is joining CPEC, trying to tell that he'll either go through Quetta or through Peshawar. Sorry. As far back as 2011, they had made a connectivity from the from the Karakoram highway towards the Wakhan corridor. There is a Wakhjir pass out there which enters Xinjiang. So in Xinjiang, the road is complete. Everything is complete. All infrastructure is complete. It is only a question of getting acceptance from the Afghan government. When Karzai was there, they had said at the entrance to the Wakhan corridor to create a brigade and place it there, that they would fund it, they would provide equipment if required. Americans and ICE have said no. After these people have come, they have been sending hints. They have not agreed to it. Because there also they have their copper, aluminium and alumina and gold, which is in North Afghanistan, which these people want to take. Why is he talking to Afghans? Because he knows that if he tries to go to Balochistan, his people will get killed. Balochistan is saying, you will do the deal with me and not with Pakistan, and anything and everything, money will come to us and not to Pakistan. Will Pakistan agree today? And that leads me to my presentation. Shall we have a look at it? To tell you, as they said, Kissinger had said, to be enemy of the US is bad, but it's worse to be a friend of US. Now, this is a map. I have put it below the source. Anyone who's watching it can click that source. Blood Brothers, it is redrawing the borders of Middle East, and this has been their long-term plan. They have achieved it to a large extent in Iraq. There's already an Arab Shia state. The Sunni Iraq is desert area. Hardly anybody stays there. Kurdistan is not to this boundary as yet, but the Kurd area, as far as Iraq is concerned, is autonomous. The writ of the parliament in Baghdad does not run in Kurdistan. They run their own government. PKK today of Turkey, realizing these importance, they are quitting their arms and joining politics to be able to create it further. They want, just look at this. Trump is also saying that he wants to wipe out Gaza. Look at this map. Do you see Gaza anywhere? There is no Gaza. And right through what I have been saying, West Bank and status undetermined. So I have always been talking that when they talk of Palestine, nobody says two states. Yes, nobody says where is the state of Palestine going to be. This map was shared with me by the DA of US and Tajikistan when I was DA there, as far back as 2004, paper written in 98, but published in the Armed Forces Journal in 2006, 1st June 2006, the same day that we are talking today. 19 years ago, it was published, 1st June. Okay, so look at Pakistan. There is no Balochistan. So what game is US going to play here? There is so much of fighting going on in Balochistan. The Pakistan Army's writ doesn't run except in the big cities. Exactly what the Americans faced in Viet Cong, by the Viet Cong in South Vietnam. The writ used to run in the cities. In the rest of the area, the writ never ran. So this is the long-term plan. So can we go to the next? Now, in this, they had given Gilgit-Baltistan to Afghanistan. I am saying we have to work towards, forget rest, take Gilgit-Baltistan. The first thing that will happen, Siachen issue is sealed. You get the land connectivity to cars in Afghanistan. The link of China to Pakistan is finished. I don't want POK at the moment, the JNK portion, because they are completely radicalized. All your training, whole lot of training camps and launch pads are out there. Moment you take it in, look at the change in demography as far as the Jammu region is concerned. All those areas are concerned. Not interested at the moment. Maybe later. Now, only thing is you have to consider that you have a Sharia ruled Afghanistan onto your borders. But Pakistan finds it difficult to defend itself. Today, when you attack, you are attacking across east to west, and you go across the water obstacles, multiple water obstacles that he has created. When you go up, you come between the water obstacles. On either flank is the water obstacle. There's nothing in between when you come down. So POK gives it certain amount of depth. In their plan also, the POJK part was with Pakistan only. There are some rumors that US is very keen to have GB as an independent state and have a base there. Now, how they are going to achieve it, I really don't know. In what manner they will do. But Balochistan, you just imagine if he just does the deal with Baloch, all they have to say is you take the base and come and do the deal of minerals with us. If they don't do it, then they'll face the same fate what the Chinese have been facing for the last 3-4 years. who have been trying to tap the same minerals, which the Canadian was telling so proudly that we finished a report 2 years ago. Damn it, the report is known for almost 10, 15 years. It is not
Yes.
yesterday that you're telling proudly that I did the report. Handsome. It's been there for so long. Why do you think the Chinese were interested in coming here? It is because of that. There's no love lost for anybody there. They are also coming there for that. So, can we go to the next? Yeah. Now, I don't see this change happening in a hurry. It's not going to happen in a hurry. It's difficult because of the nukes that are available. Even if you say that I have been saying, some nukes have been neutralized, that does not mean the capacity to make nukes doesn't exist with Pakistan. It still exists. The nuclear facilities and his facilities to enrich uranium are still working. So they will still have it. Would KP and Balochistan become virtually autonomous by the medium term or long term? Would they become autonomous? Because if America is very interested in breaking away, but these are not rare earth minerals as such. Though there have been some claims that Balochistan has rare earth, I have not heard about it. So gradually it is going to happen. And when that starts happening, because that is going to be a big turmoil in this region, and what General Shankar and General Dushyant have been saying, you got to be careful as far as India is concerned, because moment Pakistan gets into any kind of a turmoil, and this is going to be a bigger turmoil, he externalizes with you. And I would say with his state actors and not say non-state actors. Because it is proven that LET, JEM and all are state actors. So he's going to do that. And he will do that. Earlier, if not later. Because revenge is in his blood. That's his DNA. Next. Lot of people, there is a lot of chatter going on that Akhand Bharat, this Bharat, that Bharat. That is ancient history. If you think you're going to be able to achieve something here, I would beg to differ. Because even if you say that I will take Pakistan, are you going to take Pakistan? What are you going to do with this 225 million people out there? And Bangladesh, what are you going to do with those 20-30 million people there? You're looking at Sri Lanka, which has its own dynamics. Yes, in the coming years, by holding your IWT in abeyance, Indus will start reducing in capacity. The major river tributaries, I'm not talking of the minor tributaries and all which come, the major tributaries are Beas, Ravi, Satluj, Chenab, Jhelum from India, and Kabul river which comes from Kabul. These are the 6 major tributaries, and of course there are a number of minor tributaries inside which also come. But when you already have 4 of your major tributaries blocked, and maybe in the coming 3 to 5 years another major tributary blocked, which is Jhelum, and you have the dams being made by us for Afghanistan in or on the Kabul and all its tributaries, 12 to 13, what happens to the flow of Indus? How did we shift from Sindhu Saraswati to Sindhu civilization? Because the Sindhu was also a tributary, a major tributary of the Saraswati. It went away in the tectonic shift. It went away almost 100 kilometers to this general alignment of the bed where it is flowing. You had Satluj, which bent away and went into the Indus, and you had the Yamuna, which bent and went away to the Ganga. These were the 3 major rivers that were providing it sustenance. Saraswati started fading out, and what is left is your Ghaggar, which flows, which is untamable, and Nara, which they call inside Pakistan, which is there's nothing left. When that happened, there was mass exodus because that was an agrarian society. Let's just not forget Pakistan is an agrarian society. It is an agrarian society, and Indus will start building in the coming decades. What happens then? I don't think the Pakistani decision makers have even given it a thought. That what happens to our people? Already Karachi airport, on Twitter we are getting reports, they've run out of water. Karachi airport is running out of water. If Karachi is running out of water, what happens to that huge port that is being run there? So there is a different challenge which they are going to face, because now the food shortages are going to start. Tremendous food shortages. So we can take this out now.
Thank you so much, sir. Rajiv
So
ji,
this is the challenge that they have. Whom to talk to in Balochistan? Pakistan will not be happy if you do a deal with Baloch. Baloch will not be happy if you deal with Pakistan. And the Canadians will not be happy if the Americans try to poach it. Who's there in the American industry who would like to come here and put his boots on ground? Considering the situation that is there. They couldn't do it in Afghanistan. How are they planning to do it in Balochistan? But yes, because of the shenanigans of Trump and his family, there is a power shift that is coming. Yes, I'm sure that the Israelis would have reached out to us. France has reached out to you for over 1 lakh shoulder-fired anti-tank. In short, the Carl Gustaf that you make here. Swedish Carl Gustaf makes it here. They are keen to order that. Russia is keen to make S-500 here. They are now openly offering you the Su-57E with technology transfer. France is giving you the codes for Rafale, which initially said yes and then said no. So they are not happy with what the US is doing, nor are we happy with what US is doing. So is there a shift within the world island that you have the EU, Israel, Saudis, India working together and looking at IMEC going there? Trump may have made a big noise of IMEC being taken to the US, but the manner in which he's working, I doubt if IMEC will ever go to US. So yes, there is a global shift. Yes, are we going back to the pre-First World War days of balance of power? I leave it there.
thank you so much, General Rajiv. And I just wanted to add some information to what you just said, sir. In Gilgit-Baltistan, the Karakoram highway has been blocked for the past several days, and no traffic is moving there. You can see videos available. So things are brewing in Gilgit-Baltistan also. This is supposedly a trader strike, but there is more there than meets the eye. So just stay tuned on that one. We'll give you an update. Let's get back to General Ravi Shankar. General Ravi Shankar, China has this vision of wanting to build 1 million drones. Of course, they would be learning their lessons from what happened in Operation Sindoor to try and get around India's system. I'm sure they are also doing the same thing. What are your thoughts on how India needs to counter that? Because 1 million drones, it's not going to be possible to stop those things.
These are all reports which come. No mother's son is going to make 1 million drones and deploy them here. And that too, they'll get it to Pakistan and deploy is not a joke. Or to get it to the logistics of 1 million drones, you should understand. It doesn't happen. I mean, let's not get into these hyperbole which China sells or publicizes. If you take the Chinese very seriously, you will have a heart attack tomorrow. So I think we should not bother beyond the point. The reality is far different. Okay, reality is far different. While General Narayanan has given you a picture where China, the whole area is going to change and all that. That's a long-term project. At this point of time, America doesn't have the legs to do anything. Trump doesn't have the legs to do anything. He's not interested in all this. He's only interested in money. He's like a horse with his blinkers on. Paisa, paisa, paisa. So he's only looking at paisa. So he's got his thing, and he's the second thing after paisa. He's looking at China, and that problem is going to happen here. And Balochistan is in a crisis, which General Narayanan very clearly said. Sorab town is out of control. Today it's one town, tomorrow it will be two towns, the day after it will be large swathes of Balochistan, which will be out of anyone's control. And then where does Pakistan army go? Right? They can't go anywhere except Quetta. And notwithstanding whatever the Afghanistan, Pakistan, and China do this trick. There's a limit to what anyone can control Afghanistan, and there's a limit to what anyone can control TTP also. These emirs also change every second day. Okay, yes. So the tribal loyalties there are so strong that no fellow will be able to give a edict to the other guy and the other guy will listen. Everyone will this thing. So it is in our interest. Already, if you look at it, the TTP is called Quaritch, and it is Hindustan assisted Quaritch. That is, they are talking of Hindustan assisting TTP. They are worried about Fitna ul Hindustan, where in Balochistan. So they are worried. And the way I look at it, if they are worried, we should feed into their worry. After all, Musharraf very famously said, we give moral support to J&K people. So we'll also give them moral support. Where's the problem? We must give them moral support. We'll tell them, we'll give them books and all that, a lot of things. And we'll educate them of how to go about their business and develop their businesses. So all that we can do. But our larger issue is this. How do you deal with Pakistan, which is okay with US and China also? Can you depend on USA? Right? USA is very clearly trying to play you off, saying, look, you don't look towards Pakistan, you look only towards China. When you look towards China, we'll help you. Not only that, they want you to be the front face of their action towards China. Why should you be? Right? We don't want. We have people might say, Nehru was a fool to start non-alignment. It is not so. Today you are going back to that same story of non-alignment. You don't want to be aligned with anyone. You call it strategic autonomy. That's about all. But there's a realization we have to say that we are on our own. Strategic autonomy is the name of the game. Okay, in this today, what are the opportunities? America still remains an opportunity. Yes. I mean, as much as he's transactional, you be also transactional with him. Absolutely. As simple as that. You can't get away from China 100%. After all, you have trade. You have a trade of $1 billion. It's not going to run away. So you have to manage China the way it is, whichever way it is. So where are the opportunities? The opportunities are in IMEC. IMEC was originally designed to go from Mumbai up to Greece, Piraeus. That's it. Get after that, and for that people are more than happy to come out. The EU is an opportunity. I mean, you might say EU has nothing, but EU still consists of rich states. I mean, I'm talking practically of today. It's rich states. Their economy might be in a dump. They still have technology, and they need someone. They have to remilitarize. So that's an opportunity. Russia remains an opportunity, right? The Southeast Asia remains an opportunity because everyone wants to hedge. And after Operation Sindoor, everyone will come to you. They want Akash Tir, they will want Akash, they will want BrahMos, they will want all your guns, attacks, everything they'll want. So that's an opportunity, and it is and part of our geoeconomics. We should invest into these opportunities. And like what Gen Dushyant was saying, 3%. I will say, why 3% more? Invest, because it's going to earn you money. You're going to earn technology and you're going to earn money out of it. So why don't do it? And you trade your capability for technology. All right. Another way of looking at this, you have France. France has always given you whatever you want. He's already told you for Rafale, he'll give you everything. The BrahMos can be put on Rafale. That's the latest thing. That's what, in fact, General Narayanan sent to me. Look, it's fallen in place. It's like, all these clicks falling in place. So you have France who will give you as much engines. You want a jet engine, no? Go to Safran, he'll give you. Where's the problem? Why should you go only to GE? And we need to start playing this off. And I think we are good at it. Let's have confidence that we are good at it. There's one major factor which I would like to put across to everyone. We have people's trust. In this world where, everyone is not being transactional, there are a lot of people who trust India, and that trust you can cash in. Trust and capability combined together are a lethal combination, however old-fashioned it might be. Right? It has its value even now, and people will come to you. And like I have always said, you can't, no one can stop you. I mean, this is a thing which I keep quoting. You see, Japan, South Korea, China, Germany, all these are aided economies. They are producing economies. They can't consume. Their consumption is in the West, which is stopped. Because the West is now screwing them, their economies are going down. Their consumption is not happening because they can't consume. Right. The same thing no one can do to you because you're a consuming nation. That equation doesn't hold. That's where you get your strategic autonomy from. The people of India give us strategic autonomy. And if we don't get carried away by Akhand Bharat and this Bharat and that Bharat and all that, and say, look, let's consolidate what we have. Even getting hold of Gilgit-Baltistan is a headache for us. Why should you go? Why should you stretch yourself? What is the great speciality that you'll get out of Gilgit-Baltistan? What is the great speciality you'll get out of POJK? That one sliver of land with a whole lot of, hostile people, or for that matter, Bangladesh. Bangladesh also has nearly today 180 million people. What do you do with 180 radical people? They can't go anywhere. You can't push them into the sea. At least in Pakistan, you can push them more towards Afghanistan. So you have major issues, and we should consolidate within. In fact, I would put it this way. If there's a new global shift, the first thing I will do is I'll go transactional with everyone, but more importantly, I'll consolidate at home. That if you are consolidated and strong at home, everything else will fall in place. And for that, you need good politics. You need bipartisan politics within the country. You can't keep cursing each other. The political parties can't keep cursing each other. And, in an absurd manner. Right? Look, what is happening today diplomatically? You sent 8 teams of all party members who are talking. It is the opposition people who are coming to your rescue and talking to everyone. Isn't it? That's the model to go forward. So I think we need to redraw not only a way we think outside, I think we need to redraw how you think inside also. And I'll leave it at that.
Thank you so much, General Ravi Shankar. General Dushyant, there's an opportunity cost thanks to the success of Operation Sindoor. So I just wanted to clarify, it's Israel which wants India's Akash and L-70 modified, because it's been always known that Iron Dome is very expensive for Israel to maintain. And they were saying that they were looking for a low-cost option, that they even had one. I'm not so sure about where things stand. But what we are looking now is there is an opportunity that is coming, knocking on India's door. I'm told 21 countries want BrahMos now. It was in 2 digits. It's getting more and more. So these are all things where India needs to scale up. How confident do you think India is of being able to grab this opportunity? Because nobody is keeping quiet. China has got its tail up. It wants to do something to show to the world, because it's going to lose out all its customers in Africa and anywhere else where they have been peddling their technology if they don't do something radical. And they need to prove that it is better than what they already have. All this, there is an opportunity, and that opportunity has a cost associated with it. How ready is India, sir?
Okay, before I answer your this question, I would like to just add few comments to the 1 million drones story.
Yeah.
You see, the Chinese have a way of showing off. Suddenly they created this aircraft which could throw out 400 odd drones, and it could go and attack a particular target, including loitering drones were there, including kamikaze drones were there. So all this, showbaji it does. We should, accept China's equipment once they are tested and validated. So therefore, we should, be very, very clear about the quality of the Chinese products. As far as 1 million drones is concerned, look, making drones is not very difficult. What we need to do is have a good counter drone systems, which the Indians are working on. And I can tell you that even at the lower level, even at the levels of tactical level, our Jawans are very good in Jugaad. Jugaad technology actually, Jugaad technology actually came. It has been invented by India, and Manmohan Singh made it very famous during his one of the speeches. So at every level there is a work going on the counter drone system. These are like toys if you have very good counter drone systems, and a fair amount of work has gone in. I can just assure you that much, that people are working overtime. As regards the Israeli option of L-70s, etc., is concerned, look, the L-70s was an ad hoc arrangement which we had to do because we didn't have anything, so we had to upgrade them. The DG, I had done a podcast with the current serving DGAD, and he had spoken about it. He said, "Look, we are trying to fight the battle with what we have got, but this battle will be capable of matching up to new generation equipment which others are producing. The others are producing very costly equipment. Once you make it as a system, it becomes costly. What we have achieved, and this is something which only General Shankar and General Narayanan will understand, and that is the integration of all our systems. This was missing till Balakot. Let me also tell you, that particular thing which happened, which is also called Akash Tir, and etc. The real story, people have worked for very long years to ensure that this integration takes place. It finally took place. I hope it continues. I hope we move towards theater commands, etc. That's how these integrations will move in, and you will find even your so-called legacy equipment performing to perfection. So idea is to use emerging technologies for command, control, and communication systems, whether it is satellites, whether it is terrestrial communications, or whether it is maritime underwater communications. Everything has to get clubbed into our C2 systems. Unless we do that, the OODA loop will remain long. And let me tell you, in the second round, if something happens, and then we have declared new doctrine of any terror act being considered as act of war, it is not only meant for Pakistan, it is meant for Bangladesh. I mean, it is meant for anyone and everyone, including China. If China does something like a terror act, and we are able to prove, or we are able to find good credible evidence that Chinese are behind it, we will have to respond. Otherwise, this doctrine will remain on paper. And if we have to respond, then we must have the capabilities. And for that, we have, even before Operation Sindoor started, we have started working upon it. Whether it is Israel, whether it is any country A or B, totally transactional. I attended a seminar, which it was an open seminar. The civilians were also there. Everybody was there. The Israeli ambassador himself spoke. He gave the keynote talk, and he said, "We are firmly behind India and will support India in any kind of assistance which they want. Obviously, it will be a give and take arrangement. They would like to know as to how we did all this kind of integration and
Jugaad.
the Jugaad. I won't say Jugaad as such,
It's
but
not Jugaad.
I
It
just,
is
it's not. It's a proper system. The only thing is that Jugaad becomes for the legacy equipment. We had, if we had night fighting capability, we put some night fighting capability on the L-70. If we didn't have communications, we put some communications on it. So therefore, it was kind of a add-on which we had to add to a legacy. Earlier, they used to fight with fire with open eyes. So all those things we have improved over a period of time, and it's because of that we were able to do what we did this time. And during the conflict itself, if you take the CDS's statement, it's not important how much damage was caused. What is important is what did we do after the damage. You see, we were innovating even once the battle was joined. The Pakistanis are only looking at it. Their locations will get disclosed. Whereas we went ahead, did some changes into our strategy, and struck them on 9th and 10th so badly that they didn't have any answer except to say that we did not open fire because our positions would be disclosed. Yes, there are some positions of theirs still holding on, but a number of them were knocked out, and they knew that if they open up again, they will also get knocked out. So my thing is that opportunities are there, like they have been already highlighted by General Ravi Shankar, but the opportunities will be totally transactional. It has to be give and take. It cannot be a one-way process. Or you buy. Simply put, you buy out. You see, the only way you can handle Afghanistan, and it has been proved over history, you have to pay the protection money to have your operations going on. Whether it was the Mughals, whether it was the Russians, everybody has paid to the tribal leaders. The Jirgas believe in money.
And they want dollars.
And yes, and paisa feko, tamasa dekho. Now here the deep pockets will matter. The two deep pockets are trying to fight with each other. And normally you have seen in the fight of two big cats, it's always the cat which is on the side wins the ultimate battle. So these are the opportunities, I would say, in Afghanistan also. We have a tremendous scope. You see, we have to protect our 3 billion which we have already put in there. The difference is we are putting it across the entire length and breadth of Afghanistan, including Kabul River, including the areas of Tajikistan, Tajiks, Uzbeks, Hazaras, wherever they are living. You see, we have to look in the future. Today it's Taliban. I think a kind of a practical approach would be that our fingers must be there with everyone. If somebody is sitting somewhere, we should continue to engage with them. You don't know when somebody will come handy. Hedging strategies are part of any nation's game
Way
plan.
of living life.
Absolutely, and it is a practical world. Right from the beginning today morning, also I did this show, and I said, look, it's transactional now. Nothing is going to be now on the high moral, high table kind of a diplomacy. World is one is good, but world will be one only in case if you have brute power. Ramdhari Singh Dinkar was a poet and national poet of India. He said कि अंतरराष्ट्रीय रिश्तों में उसी की सुनी जाती है जिसके पास ब्रूट पावर होता है, जिसके पास शक्ति होती है. और हम तो शक्ति के पुजारी हैं, कहां पता नहीं कहां रास्ता भूल गया. Silent there.
Thank you so much, General Dushyant Singh. Rajiv ji, if you would like to add to what the two good generals said, then I'll have a specific question for you, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, the J-35 of the Chinese. It's
Yes.
still a technology demonstrator, and I'm happy that the Chinese are using PAK pilots as guinea pigs. To put it bluntly. Go to any Chinese site also, it's still a technology demonstrator which they show. So if they are training PAK pilots, means they are going to be the test pilots, they are the guinea pigs. That is the reason why he is planning to sell him at 50% of the cost. He doesn't want, and China has a problem. He doesn't have such trained pilots, nor does I wonder who's training them, because there is an acute shortage of trainers also in China. So I think they must be leaving Pakis to their own wits, giving them something, and if it crashes, so be it. It is the Pakis who will die. That's one. And yes, it is. That's why I said it is transactional, and that is why World War I, it was all transactional, because it was a balance of power joining together to counter one person. So it was all transactional. No alliances were permanent. Somebody was with somebody, somebody went to somebody else, and that is how it is likely to be. And like I always of the opinion that forget Trump and his team, just about you could say guess in the US for about 3 years. That's about all max, because after that they are lame duck. the next election start, target the Wall Street and the MNCs. Like Boeing wants to get out. See, what he has done is he has proven to the world that what our government did for 10 years was something sensible. If you want to go for a trade war, you got to have alternatives in place. Now, if Boeing is getting things, sourcing things from outside and everything else is being taxed, obviously the cost of Boeings will go up. If the cost of Boeing is going up, that means it is Airbus will be on pig's back, because they're not, their country is not tariffing all the others from where they are sourcing things. And by the way, a lot of parts of fuselage and other things are made in India of both Boeing and Airbus.
Yes.
So I would say let us start talking to Boeing and say, you come here. And Boeing is the heart of aviation as far as US is concerned. Coca-Cola is running out, thanks to him tariffing 50% of aluminum on Canada. The complete aluminum for the cans used to come from Canada. Now Coca-Cola wants to come out and go to some country which is not putting those tariffs. No, these things have not been thought through by Trump, because as far as I know, Trump cannot think. He doesn't know economy at all, and nor do any members of his team. And much is being made of on Elon Musk. In any case, I would say his appointment as advisor was only till 30th May.
Yeah.
So people saying, no, Elon Musk has quit. No, it was only till 30th May. It's over. He's walking off. But that is the biggest problem. Target the MNCs. Even like Gen Shankar has said, you have so much of opportunity available with the companies in Europe. Most of the German automotive companies are shutting shop in the US. So get them here. Tell them you come here. It will be cheaper for them to make it here and sell it in US than to make it in US to sell it in US. So the dynamics is today into geoeconomics also, because while it is getting transactional, these interdependencies don't change. And that is the opportunity that you are getting today, which you should not miss. And as far as Israel is concerned, I visited Israel as part of a team delegation, MOD delegation. I was part of it. The then Defense Secretary had taken me for a one-on-one with their Defense Minister and their head of R&D. At that time, Amos Gilad. And now he's with Herzliya. And they were both, it was just nobody else. I was there, the Defense Secretary was there, and the charge d'affaires of our embassy, because the ambassador had been called to India, there was some work on. And from their side, their Defense Secretary and head of DRDO. He didn't take any DRDO, our Defense Secretary didn't take any DRDO. There itself they said, their biggest problem is the economy of scales. Whatever they have, when they try to make it, it becomes costly per piece. So they said, if you're interested in anything, that technology that we have, they are ready to share the technology, do the R&D on that equipment and get it made in India for them also, because in the economy of scales, it will be cheaper for them. So this is, I'm talking as far back as 2014, 11 years ago. They would be interested in doing many things with you because it becomes cheaper for them. And these days, as we go into higher and higher technology, equipment does become costly. And yes, Iron Dome, if you're trying to hit a $20,000 drone with a 250,000 missile, it's not cost effective. It is not cost effective. So they do have the legacy equipment. I had a word at that time when I was in the table. We were looking after all this with the director of one of our directors who was from AD, and we had a long session with the DG AD at that time, General Saxena. And then we had gone to the Air Force, Navy, and to Manohar Parrikar. We made out a plan for all the legacy weapons, what can be upgraded to those standards at that time. And I'm talking of 2014-15. How to get it upgraded, which is what they have upgraded it further and brought more things into it and brought this. The first grain for Akash Tir was laid in 2014 with Ben. But it's been a rough ride. I don't know whether Akash Tir has been, yes, it was very successful in the form in which it was applied. We may need to improve it further. I'm sure they will do that, because they would have learned all their lessons, not only from here, from the battles in Ukraine and other things, and will start doing it. And yes, while it will not be 1 million drones, but see, over a period of 4 days, max about 6 to 1,000 drones were fired. I think China has learned his lesson, and he'll go back to the masked attacks of what they used to do earlier under Mao, and this time masked attacks will be of drones.
Will be of drones and missiles.
Yes, not people, because he doesn't have that kind of boots today. So it will be drones and missiles.
No,
And our people are already working on it at all levels.
and
You have raised the bar at the moment, so you raise it further while he's preparing for the bar that you have raised. When you respond with a higher level.
see, one thing we should keep in mind, all these things we are talking, China's economy is completely short. He can't afford all these 1 million drones. Neither is a US economy is in great shape. You know where you are. And Trump will leave it in a bad shape. So the opportunity actually lies there. You're looking at
Geoeconomics of it all.
your geoeconomic opportunity lies in the fact US economy is not going well. It might be big, it doesn't matter. The Chinese economy is not doing well. The European economy is not doing well. Who's doing well? Only India. You clocked 7.4% growth in the last quarter also. So that's the opportunity which you should consolidate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you've beaten China in the last quarter in your weapon sales. You come to number 3.
One thing which we need to be careful of, and that may prove a dampener to us, you're talking about opportunity cost, and are we ready to take on the new opportunities which are coming our way as far as our defense systems are concerned and their exports. Unless we deregulate, today startups are being forced to take licenses, industrial licenses. I mean, startups are having very, very meager money. How the hell they can indulge in taking industrial licenses? They have to be encouraged. They have to be given that positive push. So certain things we have to do in-house. Unless we do that, we will not be up to the timelines which we want to have. Otherwise, it will be like 2 batteries we are still not getting from Russia. Of course, they have their own reasons for it. But in our case, we have to deregulation and the acquisition and development processes have to be speeded up, bureaucracy removed from there. Otherwise, we cannot cash in on the opportunities which are coming up.
Internal. We have a lot of internal issues to sort out. Yeah.
Absolutely.
To add to what Gen Dushyant is saying, I would say that you have to desocialize all these business policies. We are still into socialistic policies of business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we'll take some questions and get ahead.
Yeah, just give me 1 second. I want to wrap one thing. General Rajiv Narayanan said that instead of dealing with the United States government, deal with the MNCs and deal with the Wall Street. Well, one thing that is coming down the pipeline, and I am personally still opposed to it, but I see the reality. The National Stock Exchange is allowed to go public. And this will unearth a lot of money that FIIs, foreign institutional investors, had put in when it was originally founded. NSE has done scorched earth policy for many other local exchanges, and Gift Exchange is supposed to be the one that is supposed to be the best of all these things. I have no clue and no idea where that is. But if NSE goes public, then some of the FIIs would be able to realize the money that they have sunk into it about 10, 15 years ago. And this could be one way to try and say, oh, look, you can actually monetize your investment in India. See, that's a big perception problem that India has to fight with, in that taking money into India is easy. Taking money out is very difficult. This needs to be broken. I think that's what is going to happen in NSE. Again, personally, I think it's a bunch of corrupt crooks who are doing that. They've made a lot of money, and along with them, the FIA has also made a lot of money. I mean, I can write a chapter. I mean, I can talk for 2 hours on this, but let me just say that if this could be one way the Indian government could be reaching out to the Wall Street, because that's where the money came from. My opinion, sir. Let's take some questions.
I would entirely agree, but I would add one Hindi proverb: "Chor chor mausere bhai."
General Ravi Shankar, you wanted to add something?
No, we'll take questions. I think otherwise we'll
Yes.
be long over time.
We're going to quickly go through the questions. Request everybody to take 30 seconds and not more than that for answering. I'll just go in circular fashion. First, let me just do the announcement. Thank you for all those of you who are becoming YouTube members in respective channels. Venki Krishnamurthy, Magnum Opus, thank you for your super sticker. We'll start with this for General Shankar. Sir, are we isolated now as the lonely global south?
No, we are not isolated. Everyone wants you. Everyone seeks you, except Pakistan.
Nice to be wanted.
Don't worry. Even China wants you.
Next one from Deepankar Kaushik. This is for General Dushyant. Pranam sir, while I try to understand the strategic considerations and escalation dynamics as a layperson, I find it difficult to comprehend why India allowed Pakistan a face saving. Your thoughts?
Well, India was right from the beginning doing a escalatory response, and at every escalation, we said that we will not respond. We will not respond unless Pakistan does. So, in the last round, when we retaliated, Pakistan came on the table. So that was based on our strategy. It was as simple as that.
Next one, please. Arunachal Mudgarikar for General Rajiv. Why can't India run trade with China and hunt defense deal with USA like Pakistan with our own strength?
Your trade with China is enormous. Who says you're not trading with China? You see, we are not doing a Trump on China. If you have to stop trade with China, which is your alternative? Where are you going? What are your alternate sources from where you're going to source your things? So if you think that you're not trading with China, I don't think so. Why should I have defense deals with US? Is he a dependable thing? 404 you signed, when he's going to give now. 414 we don't even know will he give. 22 he gave your attack helicopters to the Air Force. He had to give only 6 to the Army. Is not 2020 you signed it. It is 5 years. He hasn't given you even a single one. So why should you trust him? Why should I deal with him? I should do my deal with everybody. Hedge. And we'll deal with Pakistan. Of course, we are dealing them ourselves. Who's coming in? Except from the back, Israel and to a certain extent, Russia have been supporting you. Nobody else.
Neeraj wants to know, this is for General Ravi Shankar. Generals, what rare mineral security plan does India have?
Look, India has got a lot of rare earths. Please understand this. You are one of the biggest holders of rare earths. Only thing is you don't use it because environmentally it's not acceptable to you, and it is very bad. So we have enough. We have enough security for what you need. You have. The thing normally which comes into play is those magnets. Those magnets are made out of rare earths, which are made of hard rare earths, higher order rare earths, basically made out of dysporium. Now that incidentally China has. And where does China get the basic rare earth from? Myanmar. It comes back to why people are going for the humanitarian corridor. Why is USA going to the humanitarian corridor in Myanmar? He wants to upset the Chinese apple cart and get rare earth directly from there. So the game is, everywhere the circle is round. वापस आके घूम के आ जाता है.
I'll add that the neodymium and the others we have, most of it is in the coastal area, and you have the coastal regulation zone and environment which you get stuck.
You don't want to do
we
it.
are still taking it out. There is a Japanese company which is working.
Yeah.
But of late, the Geological Survey of India, as late as about a year ago, they have found quite a lot of these rare earths in various districts of Rajasthan, Badmer, Jaisalmer, Sikar, Siroi, Bhilwara. Now your work is going to start there to be able to take it out. So in the beach areas, coastal areas of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Orissa, Andhra Pradesh, you are using more, what you extract, you are using more for your thorium plant that you're working, thorium based reactor. So you're taking out thorium from there for that. So, but yes, we have, slowly we should be able to do that and see from where you can get your dysporium and terbium. Because those
Next
two
question
are
is
the
for
ones
General.
needed
Yeah.
magnet.
Sorry, sir. Next question for General Dushyant. Pagalski wants to know, sir, have the Canadians calculated that their goody-goody image can be of advantage to the West because basically Canadians, Americans, and native British people of Caucasian origin think alike? I think it's not look alike. I mean, think alike.
See,
I don't think so. I mean, this is
native British people are not Caucasians. The
Yeah,
native British, you will not find them. The
Correct,
Celts, the
correct.
Anglo-Saxons, the Nords, the Germans, they have all, and the French, they have all come and conquered, and that is now the English people.
correct.
Caucasians are more towards the eastern side. Anyway, I personally feel that this whole thing is now going to go transactional, and therefore these advantages which we are talking of similarities, etc., are all going out of the window. Yeah, if somebody is finding some interest in your proposal, you will be taken on board. Otherwise, thank you very much. That's the way things are going to happen in future.
Arun Joshi, thank you so much. This is for General Rajiv. Please explain CDS sir's recent statement.
He just said that he never said the planes crashed. Have you heard his statement? I heard his full interview of Bloomberg. He said, yes, they got hit. They got hit, but the ground staff turned them around, and after 24 hours, the Air Force was flying at full fleet. Now that Air Force was flying at full fleet, the media has twisted and said he accepts plane crash. Plane didn't crash. He said they were hit. Who says that you don't get hit? You do get hit. It is something like I'm fighting. I get a bullet graze out here. I go to my aid post. He ties me up and I come back fighting. So am I injured and out of action? No. That is what he said.
You see, in war, casualties will take place. If you're fighting an enemy, if you think that you're going to go out unscathed, I think you're living in a totally make-believe world.
Yeah, today morning only I did a whole video on this. Morning I did this.
Turn them around, he says. But that turning around and flying again back within 24 to 48 hours with full complement, that has been removed by the media.
At the cost of a little anecdote here, I was undertaking the Pathankot operations, and there was one team of mine comprising of 8 people. They were attacked by a grenade, and all 8 of them suffered injuries. They went back to the hospital. Hospital was about 1 kilometer away. They bandaged themselves, came back and killed those terrorists. It doesn't mean that we were damaged. Those terrorists got killed, and these 8 guys were, flashing their hand and body in triumph. So that is what it is.
Thank you so much, sir. This is for General Ravi Shankar. Shritik Kothari wants to know, please explain what led to the change of heart for PKK leader and his call to drop the insurgency against Turkey. If US/NATO know how fake Khalifa Erdogan plays double games, why entertain him?
We'll take this question some other time. Okay.
Yeah,
it's a long thing. You have to understand USA's game plan also.
Yeah, that's a different story altogether.
Yes, thank you, sir. Jaya Raman, thank you so much. And Akash Krishnan Tadani, this is back to you, General Ravi Shankar. Plausibly, Trump has told the Chinese to get their act in order. Probably the Chinese are considering the fine print. Possibly all this would be old wine in new bottle. Your views?
No. Akash, it's nothing like that. These chaps are loggerheads with each other. There are rumors that Xi Jinping is missing, and Trump is in a different world. So don't think of all these things. There are no connections. They're absolutely a North Pole South Pole equation.
It's accidental convergence. Accidental convergence.
I will not be surprised if Trump is not able to do even one trade deal throughout his tenure. The manner in which he's going, I'll not be surprised.
that is what is happening.
Arunachal Mudgerikar for you, General Dushyant. We have retaliatory capacity for Pakistani nukes. Do we need more?
See, we have adequate capability to deal with both China and Pakistan. I mean, that's the short answer to this.
Yeah, that's it.
Next one, Pradeep Tumati. Thank you so much. This is for General Rajiv. Is there a possibility where China and US get together against India?
That's, you can think any of these combinations, but will China join with them? China wants to rule the world. So why we join with US? US wants to rule the world. So if everybody wants to, have you played the game at the youngster King of the Stack? Where you can have only one person on the top, no? How do the other two join up to knock him off the stack? So that is a possibility only if India is on top of the stack, and you're talking God knows on which century.
Yeah, we'll not.
Pradeep, one way to look at this is that China has nationalized all the investment that came from outside. Chevron has come out and made a statement that we are unable to repatriate our profits from China. So this is just one company, but entire Wall Street is right now hurting. They are keeping it on their assets. Once the reality comes out, all these things are going to have a huge havoc on the stock market. So US and China are not going to come together. Even this Xi Jinping being pushed out, the guy who's going to come in will be a moderate. He'll be more Deng Xiaoping model kind of person who will probably allow all that stuff to go back to the way it was before Xi Jinping started flexing his muscles. My 2 cents. Let's go to the next question, please. Email law. This is for General Ravi Shankar. Question to all the discussion panel. Have we looked at EMP as a non-particulate defense against swarm attack? Love this discussion forum. Please keep it coming.
The short answer is yes. We are looking at it.
Yes. Yes.
Uppali Sridharan wants to know, question to General Shankar and Narayanan. When the stop of firing was announced, there was palpable disappointment in your faces and tone. Looking back, do you still believe we'll let Pakistan get away soon? General Ravi Shankar and then General Narayanan.
Look, no, we are not. Look, that was a momentary reaction. That look, we could have done a little more. But looking in hindsight, I think we did the right thing.
I was on India TV then. I was in the India TV studio that day.
We did the right thing. We didn't have to do anything more. And more than that, you would only have drawn the thing out unnecessarily.
Yes, stop.
There is something which I wanted to here is that these things are also worked out in the background. So when it comes out, generally people will get surprises.
Next question, please. Saurabh Sabharwal, thank you so much. This is for General Dushyant. What lessons can be learned from today's attack on Russia's strategic assets by Ukraine's swarm drones? I hope our forces are carefully watching.
Absolutely. And we have been telling, all three of us have been telling that do not take any kind of leniency because of your new doctrine. The new doctrine actually demands you to be ready 24/7. And if you have to be ready 24/7, so be it. And start looking at things what are happening elsewhere and keep modifying your responses.
Next one, Saurabh Sabharwal again. Thank you so much. This is for General Rajiv. No permanent friends and no permanent enemies in geopolitics. That's right.
Yes.
Next one. Sir, stay with you, sir. General Rajiv. Mohan Ramanujaya, thank you so much. Is India waiting for free trade agreement to be signed before escalating the Sindoor kinetic operations further?
FTA they are wanting. This is the new thing of, I would say, of begging for you. Begging bowl of the West, global North is FTA. They call it FTA. It is they who want your market and you are dictating to them what all you want. And in no uncertain terms, our Minister Piyush Goyal again laid it out to both EU and UK. What is expected out of them. So that is the same thing with the FTA. So why should I bother about FTA? FTA is what they want. I have at the moment what I want and I'm looking at how to expand further. But that has got nothing to do with escalating ops and kinetic operations further. And why should, like I have always said from day one, it's a multi-domain operation. Ops Sindoor, don't look at it only in the kinetic domain. It's a non-kinetic domain also. It's a multiple domain operation which is ongoing. It is only that the fighting has been paused for the moment. You have taken at the moment, I would say initially I had said tactical pause. You have taken an operational pause.
Next question from Bharat Ved Prakash. We're almost done, about 5-6 questions to go. General Ravi Shankar, shouldn't we have an information warfare wing? In this day and age, perception trumps reality. Not much has changed post Balochistan with media management.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is one of the problems which you've encountered. And I think we have one of the best institutions in the information and broadcasting ministry, and they're, spread with DD and all that. We can put it together. We must put it together. A lot of us who have access to higher echelons of Indian leadership have put this point across. Let's hope something comes out.
General Dushyant, you wanted to say something, sir?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, India, when General Bipin Rawat was the chief of army staff, he created a post called DGIW, Information Warfare. And the first thing which we did was suppress that. I think we have to take it very seriously. And earlier we do it, the better it is for us.
Next one, please. Kiran Media, thank you so much. Anton, thank you so much. This question is for General Dushyant. Fortunate to have generals and not journals.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Next one, stay with you, General Dushyant. Gold, silver, thank you so much. Jai Hind. Natural resources, gold, silver, and alternate SWIFT network. The solution versus US Fed and G7 MNC banks, mouse clicking USD debt. बोलना क्या चाहते हैं भैया आप? Low interest euro dollars milkshake theory. I don't know what the question is here.
No, there's no question. He's just giving a statement. That's about it.
Just giving a comment.
Yeah, still with General Dushyant. Mahesh Narayan, thank you so much. We badly need a toot the horn strategy. During the next episode, we need Kadai along with Odai. I don't know. Can you make sense of this, sir?
He's wanting solutions. Odai means, get something as solutions to what we have to do, which we have spoken about.
Yes. Next one. Thank you so much for Manjunath Jagirdar. Next one, please. Sachin Khandelwal, thank you so much. This question is for Major General Rajiv. In your opinion, did CDS do the right thing by giving interview to no pro-China news channel and do the right thing by accepting losses?
He never said loss.
We have covered this.
So let's be very clear.
We have already covered this.
Planes got hit. Hit doesn't mean a loss.
That's right.
So that's the twist. Why should he not give? So before you say that he said this, you should listen to the full interview, what he spoke. After all, he's our CDS. You can't go by what Bloomberg is saying or X, Y, or Z is saying. You listen to him. The video is available on the net, and he's your country's CDS. Listen to him, what he's saying. And I thought he spoke a bit quite maturely. Bloomberg is twisting because they have to carry a narrative forward. That's a different issue. If he comes, if some media person comes and starts talking to you, will you say no? That will become a bigger issue in Bloomberg, where will twist and say CDS trying to hide facts, doesn't want to speak. You're going to be careful.
Thank you so much, Sanjay Dodia, for your generous donation. That brings us to a close of today's program. We'll be back again next Sunday, 8:30. The good generals will be back, assuming they have nothing else going on. Then the Ravi Shankar and I try to make it almost every week, and the other two generals, depending on what their other commitments are, they may be or they may not be able to make it. We're hoping that they will. Thank you so much once again, generals. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you.